Did Kendrick Lamar write Drake's verse on Poetic Justice? Is the meaning behind Kanye West's song Power way more dark and disturbing than you ever imagined? And is J. Cole's hit song She Knows actually about the Illuminati and the crazy inner workings of Hollywood? We're going to take you guys through all of these and more, talking about the craziest conspiracy theories behind some of the most popular rap songs of the last century. So let's get started with this. And I'm going to take you through the Poetic Justice theory.
So do I got to put on like my tinfoil hat for today?
You do.
Is that what I have to do today?
You really do, bro. You have to fucking turn into an inspector. Inspector Clouseau.
Inspector Clouseau.
Yeah, that's what you got to turn into.
All right, let's do it.
This theory, as I said, it's that Kendrick wrote Drake's verse on Poetic Justice and got him to diss himself without Drake realizing. So this theory tries to prove that Kendrick got him to diss himself, got Drake to diss himself on the 2012 song Poetic Justice, obviously off of Good Kid, Mad City, by ghostwriting Drake's verse and intentionally making him rap lyrics that include these self-inflicted shots, right? So this all seems to reach a boiling point on the part of the song. I'm going to pull this up with lyrics where Drake raps, "But I can never right my wrongs unless I write them down for real, PS."
Okay.
So he got Drake to say that he can never right his wrongs unless he writes them down for real. He can't right his wrongs because he doesn't write his own songs. He can never admit he doesn't write his lyrics. So Kendrick is making him admit it without him even knowing it, and it's a form of poetic justice. This is what the theory tries to prove, and there's way more evidence. So stay with me for a minute. Ant's already like...
I see the point, though.
Yeah.
I understand it. By the way, I kind of saw this theory floating around on Reddit during the battle. So it's interesting. Keep explaining with the further evidence.
And I'm going to give credit to where this stems later. But Kendrick possibly thought that the most poetic thing that he could do to the person that he views as his antithesis, who stands for everything that he stands against, let me weaponize that weakness that he can't write, and let me make him pay the ultimate price and get exposed for not writing, but this will only be unearthed years from now. Maybe that was the idea. The belief is that within this theory that Kendrick never liked Drake, and he even sneak dissed him on Buried Alive interlude, but Drake didn't realize. And this part of it I actually believe, fully, okay? So the song Buried Alive is about the trappings of fame. You've heard it.
Yes.
And the whole time Kendrick is rapping about like the time that he linked up with Drake in Toronto and how he was exposed to this Hollywood lifestyle. And what's interesting too is that he talks about getting sucked into like this materialistic, soulless environment. And Kendrick blames Drake for being a bad influence on the song with lines like, "So blame it on Mr. OVOXO, the reason why I'm breathing all the vanity that I know." And it ends with the line, "So dig a shovel full of money, full of power, full of pussy, full of fame, and bury yourself alive, then I died." So it's almost like he's saying that he'd rather die than like lose his values and his morals and become a sellout like Drake. And this is where it gets interesting, is that, to me, whatever, it's not an interesting theory in the sense that Drake got exposed for having writers earlier than we thought. To me, the interesting part of it is that based on leaks from, the TDE camp, Kendrick apparently wrote J-Rock's verse on Money Trees.
Yes.
Right? That came out. People knew about that. What's also proven is that Kendrick has written verses for Dr. Dre and most likely wrote his verses for Compton and The Recipe.
Yes.
We could agree on that?
Yes.
What's also interesting...
Is that confirmed, though? Did he have writing credits on those songs?
It's not confirmed, but like it's known that Kendrick written for
Kendrick
Dre,
is
and
a credited writer
Dr.
for Dre.
Dre often doesn't write his verses.
Well, I don't think he ever does, realistically.
Yeah.
Every time he's done it for Eminem, it's Eminem that takes care of it. But with Kendrick, that's what I want to know, though. When it comes to The Recipe and Compton, those are pivotal songs.
I don't think it's confirmed, but I think we could assume that he most likely did.
You see, this is where
but this is a confirmation. There's another confirmation, all right? So, obviously, the rapper MC8, who's featured on Mad City, he said that his verse on Mad City was completely written by Kendrick. He admitted to this. He said that Kendrick wanted him to say the words that he would have wanted to hear and that the streets would have wanted to hear, and MC8 just had to perform the song.
Yes.
So I believe maybe that Kendrick might have written Drake's verse, because if you look at every other rapper feature on Good Kid, Mad City, it's likely that Kendrick wrote all of those verses too. So maybe he wanted that, he had that vision. Maybe he came to Drake and was like, "Yo, like, I want you featured on this song. I already have this verse written for you. All you got to do is perform it." And within that, he made him diss himself.
Well,
with
it was
that line.
confirmed that Drake was using writers even before the 2015 situation,
Yes,
correct?
to give more context to that, Glasses Malone, someone who's friends with Kendrick and has worked with him, recently told DJ Head on the Bigger Picture podcast that apparently Kendrick found out that Drake had ghostwriters back in 2011, and apparently Kendrick felt away. He felt disappointed about it. And this ties into Poetic Justice, which dropped just a year later in 2012. So maybe this chess move was made after he got the news. And big shout out to Anthony Imbrunone from the Decoding Drake and Kendrick video that he put out. This is where the theory stemmed from, and I kind of added on it with like the MC8 stuff and all that. So is it credible?
I think it is credible. I just think like the couple of inconsistencies that I could see is maybe the Dr. Dre verses, right? But regardless, I don't think that has a big part to play because MC8 did say that that verse was written by Kendrick Lamar. I saw that interview and podcast clip. Same thing with J-Rock. I mean, now it's out there that one of the greatest feature verses of all time was created by Kendrick Lamar. It's like, do you really think Drake came in with his own feature verse for Poetic Justice? I mean, it is a theory. That is like sort of a hollow point to this theory, but at the same time, it's like if every other fucking feature on this album had their feature written by Kendrick, Drake probably did it as well. He's been known now. There's the best I ever had theory that he didn't write that either. So I think he was using writers back then. But I find it interesting because like if you're gonna slight the guy and you're gonna try to do it, and now you're gonna do it behind his back without even him knowing. Just another like crazy move by Kendrick.
If this is real, if this gets confirmed one day by Kendrick or someone, is this one of the best disses ever to you?
Oh my God, bro. You got the guy to diss himself and he didn't even know it because I think he figured that a pain point or maybe a weak point of Drake's artistry was like his ghostwriting, right? And I think Kendrick's mentioned it not only in, the diss tracks that he released last year, but he's also mentioned it subliminally on records, for example, like King Kunta and other types of records that he's released throughout his discography. So I feel like he knew this about Drake, and he probably said, fuck it. You know what? We're on good terms, but this is a competitive sport. I'm going to get you here.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, the relationship soured. Everything happened the way that it did.
Speaking of that, I was going to say the only other reason why I don't believe this is because let's say Kendrick did pull off this crazy chess move. Why wouldn't he have brought it up in the battle? Like, why wouldn't he have, like, revealed that to the world?
Because it ruins the subtlety of it, right?
Fair.
It ruins the whole, like, I think, mystique and lore of this type of move, right? Like, you already did what you had to do because people are thinking about it. People are making content about it. People are already trying to dissect it. So you did it in a way where it's like, oh, well, no, I did this, and you're trying to put up a billboard about it, but instead you're making people sort of marinate in it and be like, oh, okay, is this really happening? So I think it's a great fucking theory, great one. Let's go on to the next one.
Let's go on to the next one. This is the darkest, most disturbing one that we have in this episode, and I'm gonna say this up front. I'm gonna be taking you through someone who really dissected this theory. I don't personally believe any of this, and I don't think you will either. But it's crazy.
It's gotten a lot of steam, though.
It's gotten a lot of steam, and like people have put in a lot of time to try to pick out certain pieces of evidence. So I want to go through it. This is the She Knows by J. Cole theory, which this theory has a dark connection to like Hollywood and the inner workings of it. And it got steam like years ago, but it recently got picked up again after Diddy's trial and everything that happened with Diddy, because this does revolve around Diddy, Beyoncé, and Jay-Z. And I'll take you through this. This was written by Kaya Wagner, who's a writer for The Snappers. So she says that he released a song, She Knows, in 2013.
Yes.
And 11 years later, people are discovering that it has a dark connection to Hollywood. For years, fans thought that She Knows was either about a girlfriend knowing that she was being cheated on by J. Cole, or that it was about the other woman that she was ultimately finding out that she was the mistress of J. Cole.
Okay, that's the storyline that we all know and love, correct?
Exactly.
About She Knows? Okay.
So now after Diddy's arrest, fans are taking a deeper look, and the theory comes from primarily this line. Rest in peace to Aaliyah, rest in peace to Left Eye, Michael Jackson, I'll see you just as soon as I die. And the song's chorus also states that she knows, and that J. Cole knows that she knows. The theory states that she is actually Beyoncé, with a further connection being made to her maiden name, which is Knowles. Sounds a lot like Nose. So there's a connection there. Bit of a reach. Bit of a reach.
That's a Halo
So
reach, but whatever.
the
Yeah, let's keep
theory is
going.
suggesting that Cole is saying in the song that Diddy had a hand in the deaths of Aaliyah, Left Eye, and Michael Jackson. And the theory continues that two of these three artists, Aaliyah and Left Eye, passed away because they were more successful and more famous than Beyonce, and that Jay-Z conspired with Diddy to sort of like remove the competition that Beyonce had, I guess. And then Michael Jackson was then killed because he knew too many of Diddy and Hollywood's secrets. All right, it goes further than this, though.
Okay, yeah, let's hear the rest of this. I don't know, bro. I'm not.
You're
I'm
not buying this, eh?
I don't know.
All right,
it's just
so-
like okay, because
Well, let me keep it going, though.
Yes.
Before you make judgment, the connection between these stars, which is also interesting that J. Cole specifically mentioned all of them and that they're tied by this one number, okay? They all passed away on the 25th, with Aaliyah passing away in a plane crash in August of 2001, Left Eye dying in a car accident in April 2002, and Michael Jackson dying from cardiac arrest in June 2009. And then the song reveals in the chorus that Beyonce knew that Diddy organized these deaths because she was promised awards and more success if they conspired to do this. The theory also goes further. This is where it really loses me, okay? The theory also connects a controversial moment from the 2009 VMAs. Users across TikTok and X have been commenting on posts about the J. Cole song and making their own posts on the theory involving Diddy and Beyonce. It's thought that Taylor Swift was set to meet a fate similar to Aaliyah and Left Eye because in 2009, she was more popular than Beyonce and she got blocked from her Video of the Year award. It is thought that Kanye's I'll Let You Finish rant was an effort to protect Swift and get her off of Diddy and Beyonce's radar. A move that that was embarrassing for Kanye but saved Taylor Swift's life. Like, bro, it's like, no, it's too much. It's way too many reaches. Beyond that, there's also a Reddit user called Beautiful Ask 8247 who put his 2 cents in. And he said there's a couple of lines that actually pay homage to Beyonce and give hints. So what does she want from a guy? To put a ring on it? A reference to Beyonce's Single Lady song. Whatever. The next line, I be up so high trying to get a piece of that apple pie. Reference to Beyonce and Destiny Child's song, Apple Pie a la Mode. Again, another reach. So what? They have a song with the same title. That's buying it now. Look at that. Also, let me see what else there is here. There's also a lyric saying the worst thing about stars, celebrities, right? A star could be a star in the sky or celebrities, is that they eventually burn up in hell. And in the music video, there's a reference to sinning and then praying to God at the end and pretending nothing happened.
Okay, so where do you stand with this? Because you seem to be unconvinced.
This is hocus pocus, bro. I don't
think it's
I don't
mumbo
buy
jumbo
it, bro.
garbanzo?
And listen, I know people are gonna say like, oh, there was also the line in "Let Go My Hand" where J. Cole is like sort of talking about the scuffle with Diddy and saying that now he knows too much. I know people are gonna bring that into like the fucking argument here, but there's too many reaches here, bro.
Okay, first of all, the she knows and knows thing, like, I don't know. I can't buy that,
Yeah.
bro. Like, that's really not for me. And then, like, that's how we're going to connect Beyonce into this with, like, the song titles, though. Because you have the apple pie thing, like you said, apple pie à la mode. And then after that, you have the single ladies thing with the ring on it, right? So you got that whole title going on.
You know what it is, too, for me? It's like, I get people are making the connection
Yeah.
between Aaliyah, Left Eye, and Michael Jackson, but those are some of the most referenced artists in hip-hop and in pop culture as a whole, I feel like, right?
For sure,
all,
absolutely.
all passed away young, like they've all been like commemorated by other
it's not
artists.
the first time Cole's done that with
No.
other artists that have sadly passed away at a young age, right? So it's not to say, honestly, yeah, I think people were just off their rocker when they made this one. I think people just like maybe stayed up a bit too late on Reddit, went through so many different little rabbit holes, and then after that they formulated their own. But you know what? I salute people for the creativity.
For sure. And
The
listen,
creativity's good.
there's no denying that Diddy did some weird shit, but I feel like people are trying to connect him to like every death, every like major disaster, every possible nightmare that's been experienced, every massacre, everything. Diddy's connected to it all, bro. That's what the internet believes, but that's a wild
You
one.
never know.
Let us know in the comments, guys.
Okay, let's go into that. But these ones are interesting, though.
Yeah, the next one. This is one that you know of, but maybe you don't know like every detail of the theory.
Okay, which one is it?
So this one's been circulating online for fucking years. I added a bit to it with my own analysis, but there's so much backing this. So this is Power by Kanye West.
Sure.
And this is the belief that Obviously, in interviews, Kanye has said that this is sort of like a superhero theme song for him. But it definitely has a deeper meaning. And the theory is that Power is a song where Ye, or a character that Ye is playing on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, takes his own life, commits suicide.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Yeah.
So the main supporting evidence for the theory comes from the bridge section. If you pause the song at 3:17 and then play it from 3:17 to 3:26, you'll hear Kanye's words "so exciting," which become echoed. There's an echo effect on those words, and it starts to sound like he's saying suicide. I tried it out,
And
it does sound like that. Maybe not completely, but you could hear how the "so excited," like "so excited," suicide, like it's very close.
okay. And then the jumping out the window.
And right after the Easter egg, the very next words from Ye are now, "This will be a beautiful death." And then Dwele comes in to sing, "Jumping out the window, letting everything go." Can't get much clearer than that in my
But that's
opinion.
why, like, that's the reason why I always thought that it was kind of like an Easter egg. Well, not even an Easter egg. Like, he kind of spelt it out within the writing of the song.
Yes.
And you listen to it, and isn't also this song sort of like it signifies sort of like this passing on to the other side on the second half of the song after you get past that sort of bridge part?
There's definitely more to it. What's also interesting is that the first time that we hear the chorus, the lyrics are "tripping off the power," right?
Yeah.
Then the last time you hear the chorus, the words turn into "tripping off the powder," maybe hinting that substances are playing a role in this rash decision to jump out a window. I don't know. Also, there's more hints early on in the chorus and later in the song with lyrics like, "The clock's ticking, I just count the hours," maybe pointing to Ye like hesitating whether to jump or not jump off that building. Also, in the first verse, he rapped, "So good night, cruel world. I'll see you in the morning. I'll see you in the morning. This is way too much. I need a moment." Almost as if like his life is too stressful to handle, or he can't handle Earth anymore. Also, what I found interesting, I didn't see too many people commenting on this, but towards the end of the song, he asks, do you have the power to let power go? Which kind of brings me to the conclusion that I'm drawing from this song, and like what the theme of the album is like, I feel like he's asking himself, do I have the power to kill my own ego? And I think that this is just a representation of like the character jumping off of the building is just like the most egomaniac version of Kanye jumping off. And this obviously ties into like his whole apology tour, where on the album he's apologizing, but he's also standing on business. But this almost felt like a way of Kanye saying, I'm killing off the monster the media made me out to be. And this is like the artful representation of that. That's how I interpret the song.
But there's so many other themes as well within like the album that kind of like go through the pitfalls of fame and all of the types of like different crevices that come with that type of lifestyle, right? And within Power, the way that I always interpreted it is that like obviously Kanye West is a monster within this album. You see the haunting themes in the writing, whatever the case may be. And like you said, it almost feels like he's trying to kill off his ego and he's trying to have this huge ego death. So does it tie, like, I understand why the listener ties it back into, like, let's say, you know, the character taking his own life. I also see it as, like, yeah, like the character taking away his own ego and kind of, like, cleansing himself.
100%.
So I think you could see it either way, but I think this definitely stands.
Yeah, I think this stands.
It says it in the writing.
Because there was a thing where it's like Mike Dean said that it was bullshit because he obviously worked in the song. I don't think Mike maybe got it wrong. I'm not gonna lie. I know he was involved with the song, but he tried like kind of like disproving, not that the song was about that, but the whole like so excited turning into suicide. He tried to disprove that part of it.
But
I don't
you see,
know.
okay, because I can understand why people would say that doesn't stand though, because that's not as clear cut. But when you're getting lyrics jumping out the window right after that,
yeah. But jumping out the window could also be like, I'm breaking through. You know what I mean? It's like I'm on the scene, like I'm breaking through the window. I don't know. I'm just saying I believe this theory.
But this is the art of music, right? There's always these two different meanings to all these lyrics. And
for sure.
When the artist finds this vague way, or should I say, when Consequence finds this vague way,
Consequence, who knows?
Yeah, whoever it is, when they find a good way to be able to create like sort of a gray area within the lyrics, these are the types of theories that come out, and that's what creates the lore of these albums,
for
right?
sure. Well, speaking of Sci-Hi the Prince, that takes us to the next song, Sickle Mode by Travis Scott featuring Drake. This is a known theory.
But I feel like this one got proved, though.
This one kind of got proved.
It got proof. Kanye said it himself. Like, this was for me, bro.
He interpreted it that way.
He didn't.
What, we think you got a text? You think you got a text? Haha. Like
no, dude. Listen, they were beefing. They dropped this record. Anyways, go for it. But I think this one's good.
So obviously Drake and Kanye were not on good terms in 2018 when Astroworld dropped because of the whole Wyoming situation. Drake got invited out there to work on music. Only music that was worked on was for Kanye. Then he leaves, and then Infrared comes out, and Story of Adidon comes out. Drake feels betrayed.
Well, the lift yourself part is very important in this well, right? Because he left with the understanding that he would use the lift yourself beat for Scorpion. And then after that, Kanye releases Lift Yourself like 2 days later with the whole scoop. Anyways, they
bottom
trolled
line,
him.
it's a big mess, and he felt betrayed, right? So then Drake gets asked to do a feature on Sicko Mode, and obviously saw it as a golden opportunity to diss Kanye West on a song coming from Kanye's protege to make it sting even more. And the lyrics that everyone references, I crept down the block, made a right, cut the lights, paid the price. And so Drake and Ye were neighbors at this time, and apparently when you look at the locations of Drake and Ye's Calabasas homes, like through Google Earth, you'll see that if you do go down Drake's block and turn right, you will be led eventually to Kanye and Kim's house. And the deeper theory here that is not as much proven is that Drake smashed Kim without Kanye even knowing, and that's the price that Ye paid. It wasn't catching a fade. It was him committing adultery with Kanye's wife. And then Drake continues, obviously, with Guys Think It's Sweet, It's on Sight, as another reference to Kanye, On Sight being the intro off of Yeezus.
Yeah.
And then he continues, obviously, with Checks Over Stripes, another clue that this is about Kanye. And then finally raps, I be spinning Valley, circle blocks till I'm dizzy, like where is he? No one's seen him. I'm trying to clean him. Drake saying that he's trying to catch a fade, I guess. I think the other part about like the whole Kim Kardashian part that's interesting within this is that there have seemingly been other hints throughout like other Drake records, right?
Yes.
Like there were like the Knife Talk lyrics where there was sort of hints being made.
There was the search and rescue. Yeah, the search and rescue cover was interesting, right? Because you saw the woman on the cover with the motor, like the motorsport helmet, right? Usually what you would wear on motorbikes. And like a couple of days before, Kim had posted a picture with that like sort of same helmet on, and then they kind of replicated that. Drake's been known to do this, though.
He's been known to do this, and I want to say this too. It's like any time that Drake like is in a confrontation with another rapper, or a battle or beef, whatever it is, he'll always attack like the significant other, like the woman. You know what I mean? Like that's always where he'll go in the sense of like, okay, let me try to get you where it hurts. For Kanye, it'd be Kim. For Kendrick, Whitney. For Pusha T, Virginia. Like, it's always the angle that he takes. So, again, does it really mean that he had a relationship? Not really.
But it was a slight towards him.
It was still a slight 100%.
Because even when Kanye was speaking about it, he's like, I can't even go to my fucking like kids' birthday parties without hearing this verse anymore. Yeah. And he kind of broke it down. He's like, that's what Drake does. Like, he hits you where it hurts, and then the whole world starts chanting it. So... I know. I think this one's. Listen, bro.
This one's obvious. This one's
very obvious.
Speaking of another obvious one that still maybe some younger listeners haven't picked up on yet. It's one I still wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Hey Ya by Outkast, 2003.
Okay, you see, I've always been kind of hazy on this theory.
Like I know on this.
I kind of understand what the theory is, but I have never like gone down a rabbit hole with it.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, it's not that much of a rabbit hole in the sense of like it's just more of a hidden meaning that's gone over people's heads. Like when I was a kid listening to this song on the radio, I listened to it at face value and thought of it as just like this danceable song that was very uplifting, very upbeat, had a super catchy hook.
Yes.
No one really paid attention too much to like the lyrics on this song, I feel like, until maybe they sat down with it and really listened and got older. So what's interesting is that within the first few lines of the song, you're seeing how dark it is. But by the way, I just want to know what's like the reading you have of the song?
Reading I had with it?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be able to give you the exact meaning with this because I haven't gone through the Genius lyrics with it. But the whole like how do you pronounce that?
Juxtaposition?
Exactly, of the production and sort of like the groove of the song. Then when you go into the lyrics, there's this darker meaning about like life and about just. But I'm not sure about like the writing, so I'd have to listen to it.
The first part of it, my baby don't mess around because she loves me so, and this I know for sure. But does she really wanna? But can't stand to see me walk out the door. So right away he has doubts of like his woman cheating on him, but thinks that she won't do it because she's scared of losing Andre. She's scared of losing her man. So three Stacks is saying that This song is about committed couples that are sort of like succumbing to societal pressures to stay together and never leave each other, even if they might be miserable. Even if they're unhappy, they're going to stick together. And what's interesting, too, is that he's saying that most couples are miserable and experiencing toxic relationships, but are staying in them to not be judged by other people. And sort of saying that modern relationships are doomed from the start because of people's fear to not be alone. Also, what's interesting is that Andre knew, this is like the best part to me, is that he knew what effect this song would have on people when he made it, because he raps, "Are we so in denial when we know we're not happy here? Y'all don't want to hear me, you just want to dance." He says that at the end of verse 2.
And then the hook comes in right after.
Yeah. And to me, I'm like, okay, like this is crazy because he's calling out audiences for only caring about like the superficial nature of the song, and by extension, the superficial nature of like the fun parts of a relationship. And people are kind of in denial of, you know, the misery that they're experiencing, or maybe just not facing it. And what's interesting is that 3 Stacks started writing this song around the Stankonia era, and he was probably inspired by his separation with Erykah Badu, which happened around the same time. But this is interesting because, again, you have to really pay attention to the lyrics to get it, because most people,
the general public, I don't think actually understands lyrics, and I think that's where the Easter egg is with this song, right? It's a global massive hit, but was designed to have this deeper meaning. I don't think it has like the sort of like rabbit hole or Easter egg effect that the other records do.
Because he's spoken about it, he's admitted to it.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely, but like he's given his breakdowns on it. It's clear what he was trying to do with this, with Big Boy, and bang, they released it.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go through one more. Okay, this is a quick one. It Was a Good Day by Ice Cube, 1992 release.
Oh, okay.
This is like another one where if you pay close enough attention to the lyrics, it makes sense, but the last part's a bit of a reach. So what's crazy about Today Was a Good Day is that his definition of a good day is experiencing a good day only because
he survived.
All the negative shit that usually happens didn't happen on this day.
Yes.
And the song ends with Cube saying, "Hey, wait a minute, Pooh, stop this shit. What the fuck am I thinking about?" And people believe that Ice Cube dreamt this entire day and that it never actually existed, bro. That it's a fantasy of him being able to actually experience a peaceful day in the hood, with the message being that it's an everyday struggle and days like this don't actually exist. That's the theory. What's interesting is that there was another theory that was disproven, that this was an actual day in time. Like he actually took this from, I think it was January 12th to 1992 or something. But that one...
Because of the Supersonics game?
Yeah, because of the score of the Supersonics game and other events that played into it. But Cube later on went on to say that it's sort of made up of things that happened over a course of different days. But that original date that people had was January 20th, 1992. But it was disproven. That being said, do you believe this could have been dreamt based on those last lines?
Well, I mean, it's in the fucking song. It's not that deep, you know? Like, it's sort of like you snap back at a reality, the vinyl tape sort of stops, and then after that, he's like, what the fuck am I thinking?
What
and then
am
he
I
goes on
thinking?
with the rest of his day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it kind of maybe feels like he's not dreaming or woke up from a dream, but he was kind of daydreaming about what a perfect day would be. But isn't that the concept of the song? I kind of always picked up on that.
You always felt like it was a dream?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I always stay towards like the whole song.
for sure.
I never cut it off like 30 seconds in. Like it's a playlist song for me, so I've always listened to it all the way through. And I always felt like he snapped out of the utopian state like towards the end of the writing.
Fair enough.
So this one's it's good, but I get like why people would be confused with it, but it's in the writing.
For sure. But yeah, guys, that is every theory that we have. Let us know. Did we miss any theories?
Guys, drop some
Let
theories.
us know.
Yeah, drop some fucking theories in the comment section. I want to react to more of these, bro. I could go down rabbit holes and rabbit holes and rabbit holes.
And let us know which ones were valid, which ones do you believe, which ones do you not believe. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.